to the Geek Branch podcast. It's been a little bit of time since we got together. Unfortunately, life got the best of us and we weren't able to get together last week, but now we are back and we are ready to talk about the cinematic movie universe. Um, for our viewers, you might see a gigantic Superman statue in the back that my brother got for me. He also has a light on it, but it's super bright, so that ain't gonna work, bro. Sorry. Also, and one of us co-host over here, Devonte. The reason why he was out was because he had a little miracle just over a week ago.
Yep. Congrats,
baby number 2.
Super excited for him. Anyways, just a reminder, of course, my name's Tim. I'm the host. Co-host are Matt, Devonte, as I just mentioned just a second ago, and Dane. You should be able to hear Devonte crystal clear now. We got him a super great mic now. That other mic was my backup mic. I didn't mention that. Sorry about that. But so the first thing we're going to be discussing about is Sonic's new design leak. I don't know if y'all have not seen it yet. I know almost everyone has seen the atrocious Sonic design from the trailer that came out a couple of months back.
Yes. So much with the leg.
Yes. And they did a huge cardinal sin with Sonic and did not give him gloves and try to make him look real, which is not okay. That was scary.
You want a controversial opinion real quick? I actually think that Sonic looks better than whatever's in the Cats trailer. If I can be honest.
Oh God, yeah.
Wow.
The Cats trailer is an atrocity.
Shots fired.
The Cats trailer has approached the uncanny valley with such grace. I like the Cats trailer.
No, it scares me.
It
scares
me. I'm also a giant horror fan, so that may be the reason why I'm so away.
Yeah, because that looks like a horror film now.
I will say one thing though. The one thing that the Cats thing has going for it, I know it's totally away from the Sonic thing, but the set, it looks fantastic. Like
the set does look great, but the people
look atrocious.
They scare me.
Watching that before bed, like that's a no-go.
I'm afraid they're gonna come and kill me.
It's
or
a
something.
thing of beauty.
I know you think that. You would probably, if those things were real, you would probably try to own one.
It's not what I want my cat girls to look like.
No, keep them anime style.
Weeb life.
Otaku life.
Oh.
But anyway, so there was a lot of controversy around the Sonic design, of course. With that, the director Jeff Fowler announced and acknowledged that fans weren't very happy with the design, and they were working away on making a new design, and they delayed the movie to February 2020. And we saw a leaked photo, and it looks so much better. Like it's day and night. And so I'm actually on the belief, like this fan theory that's been going around, that this design that's leaked, when they make it official, I think that was the original design in the first place, and they used the scary design, atrocious design, as a publicity stunt.
I don't think so. I think that was really what they were going to go with.
Yeah, but
I really do.
How were they able to make that design in, what was it, like 6 months? It's like 6 months before the movie comes out.
That looks like a 6-month design.
Still, though, that was a lot of work. Like those animators, they have to go over the entire movie.
Well, yes,
and redo
but
it.
It's not like they were redoing Zootopia. You know, there's a standard of animation quality there that really isn't too hard to match in current day.
What they should have done was go full on Roger Rabbit and make that character 2D.
You think so?
Yeah, I thought. I think Sonic should have been like blending him in with the real world. Like obviously he's from a different world and it's a cartoon world.
Nah, you see,
maybe for a TV special, not a movie.
See, Roger Rabbit existed in a special time and place right around with the mask where that worked.
Yeah, even though the Mask movie was nothing like the comic.
Yeah, but
all I'm saying, off topic.
All I'm saying is that it wouldn't work today. I don't see anyone adapting that style and it functioning in 2019.
I saw that, and I wish I knew the artist, but I saw this guy make a video arguing the opposite, and he designed a 2D Sonic, and it took place of the atrocious Sonic from that trailer, and I thought it looked great because the way he made it look. But you know, they could pull. Some people can pull it off, some people can't.
I think we
You know,
deserve a really good looking live action Sonic at this point.
I think that we should probably just cut back on the live action for animated productions.
Yeah.
Period. But
I still don't think the movie is going to be great, even though they're fixing the design. I still don't think it's going to be a very good
That was my
movie.
takeaway as well.
all I'm
Okay.
saying is that after the masterpiece of animation that was Zootopia, which proves that you can animate to such great detail, why do we need to do live actions?
Because I think Detective Pikachu was like a home run, and I
Yeah,
think
that's the big reason. I agree.
Yeah,
that we
with
should
that.
go further with that.
But don't
Yeah.
you think that also Detective Pikachu would have looked amazing in the Zootopia style?
I think
without
it
a
looked
doubt.
amazing for what it was.
Yeah.
Like, there's a,
There was also a different way they approached it than they approached Sonic. They used actual like puppets and stuff they created. They didn't just use animation to create them. It wasn't just CGI. Like they legit made these models for the
Look,
movies.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
it's occupying some weird space between like animation and like puppetry,
Yeah.
like Gremlins and like the worst of 3D CG.
Yeah.
So I cannot imagine going forward that this is where we want to bring the medium. I think it would be much better if we stuck to the strong points of yesteryear. And if you wanted to do something like, the Dark Crystal remake, go with your puppets. And if
Yeah.
you want to do something animated, we can do some fantastic animation nowadays, especially 3D animation.
I don't know. I really liked Detective Pikachu.
I did too, because I like the way that the
Mhm.
lighting played off the fur and the skin and everything like that. I thought it was really well done, and
Yeah.
I'd like to see that with Sonic. I think that if they were to do something 2D, it would be fantastic. But for
I
kind of
don't
an immersion thing, I like the idea of the live action.
I don't think they took Sonic seriously enough for this film though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like uh and some people might not remember this animation movie of TV show of Sonic, but Sonic X, which came
so
around
good.
when we were probably like 12 or 13.
2004, I think.
Yeah, it was probably when we were like 12 or 13.
It's on Four
But
Kids.
Yeah.
but I mean it was good, but it wasn't they tried to combine the real world stuff too much with it at times, I thought. And they kind of latched on with that with this live action movie because they got like him teaming up with the sheriff and
Yeah, and I don't know. Like, for a first live action film, I feel like there's so much more they could have done.
yeah, they
But
could have done so much more with Robotnik, and they could have done so much more with like including
controver-
Tails
yeah.
Yeah,
and
where's
Knuckles.
Tails?
Yeah, all you see is Sonic.
Another controversial opinion: uh, Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik is garbage, in my opinion.
Well, a lot of people think he's the one carrying the movie because his
Yeah.
name's Jim Carrey.
It's
I
We'll
think that
see.
he's probably going through what Carrie said, movie. So look, all I gotta say is, to me, right? I'm not a fan of it. I personally don't think that Sonic should be getting a live action. I'm not a giant Sonic fan to begin with. There are so many other things that would fit this slot better. So me personally, I'm okay with them going out and trying it, but I don't have high expectations for it. I
I
would have
line
rather have
this.
seen like Mega Man or something.
Yeah, they are working on a Mega Man movie actually, but with Sonic, the way that from the trailer I've seen, I think it's like the terrible excuse of kids movie type movies. You know, like Hop
yeah.
reminds me of Hop. Reminds me of the Peter Rabbit movie. I don't know why I'm only thinking of
Why
the
is there a
Rabbit
second
movies, but I
one?
am.
Did y'all hear there's going to be a second
Yeah,
one?
Yeah, I
yeah,
saw
they
that.
came out the
Why?
trailer. Yeah.
Because Hollywood has a budget
Drake.
and no sense. As simple as that. Some of this stuff is just unreal.
This is our other mascot, by the way.
Like I'm saying, there are so many things that are better to be adapted to live action that we could actually do and make it seem really cool. If you look at like Alita, for instance, right? Alita set the groundwork for me to like do Astro Boy or Mega Man, any number of those series that could be realistic.
Haven't they done Astro Boy?
They did a
A live
Animated.
action Astro Boy?
no, they did a 3D
Oh, oh.
CGI Astro Boy movie. Nicolas Cage actually did the voice of his dad.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. Okay, I completely missed out on that one. But I'm like
Yeah.
saying, like, if
But
I
it's
had
not
to
live action.
do
though.
a short list of movies I would like to see in live action, Sonic is nowhere near on that list.
Speed Racer proved that we could have those kind of movies a long time ago.
Yeah.
It
And
was
now-
very underrated.
Yeah, it
no.
was.
By the way, have anybody listened? Sorry, there is a video online I want to recommend to somebody for Speed Racer. The last race to the top from Initial D turns the last race into something amazing. So, like they should have used should have bought the license and used it in that movie. Just want to throw that out there. If you guys don't know what the top from Initial D is, it is like the best Eurobeat racing song in existence. So recommended.
Yes. But obviously, I think all of us kind of feel like this movie is going to be trash. But the only reason why I'm going to go watch it is because of the fan outrage that actually made where they felt like
Yes.
they had to change the design.
Yes.
So I respect the filmmakers for doing that. Even if the movie's not going to be great, I'm still going to go watch it for the fact that they actually went the extra mile.
Yeah, if we had to title this episode for the podcast for this week, I would literally call it the corporate backlash shuffle, because
Yes.
every corporation right now is doing this dance where they're so afraid of like audience backlash for their products that they're changing things that they know in their right mind they don't want to change.
No.
We'll get to some of the other stuff when it gets to the gaming polls.
Yes, that's been a big issue lately. Fan backlash and a lot of industries have really started to affect the way businesses are running, because social media has such a important component to the way they advertise, that if there is bad word among social media, then movies, video games, any of that stuff fails. I mean, it just uh for example, critics, no one listens to critics anymore. People listen to social media more.
Because
And
it's people.
it's people. People care to hear more about average everyday people more than what a critic who knows just as about as much as they do about this stuff.
I mean, you just have to look at Rotten Tomato
Yes.
in this last year to see the absolute exemplification that critic opinions are so far removed from the general populace that they're irrelevant at this point.
Yes.
Looking at
Joker.
UCW's Batgirl.
Oh god, that movie is. I mean, that show has been terrible.
Wait, have y'all started watching it?
I watched the first two
pilot
episodes.
and I couldn't finish it.
Listen, everything gets 3 episodes out of me.
It's woke Batwoman.
Oh, yay.
No, it's
Wow.
it's the death of a very great character. And,
Yeah.
and on a later point in this segment for the podcast, maybe we'll talk about it. But currently, we still need to be on Sonic. So
Yeah, Sonic. Well, basically, we feel like it's not going to be a great movie, but we're still going to give it a shot due to the director and producer, also Tim Miller, the guy who directed Deadpool, try to go the extra mile for the film. Speaking of fan service, for I guess some fans, I don't know why this is being made, but there is a Matrix 4 being made, and they're probably going to start. I think they said next year they're going to start filming, and so we've been getting a lot of casting announcements.
look, so someone on social media, someone in the YouTube comment section, someone listening to this podcast, please give me a reason why this movie has to exist, because I cannot think of one.
Yes, for this podcast, I never endured once in my life having to watch the third movie, and I rewatched all 3 movies in the span of 2 days, just to refresh myself over the movies. First 2 weren't that bad.
First one, fantastic.
Yeah, first one's
Second
great.
one, awesome.
Yeah.
Third one, hot garbage.
Hot garbage.
Yeah. it was
Look,
a
no
mess.
one wants to talk about it. No one wants to mention it because the third one was unnecessary. So the
Yes.
fourth, what is the fourth in this world? It
It's
is
gonna fix
super unnecessary.
everything.
This movie
No.
is already confusing just based off the casting.
I mean,
it's gonna be world.
Keanu Reeves' character was essentially like almost a god by the end of the movie.
He was Jesus.
yeah, he was
Well-
essentially Jesus for them.
Computer Jesus.
Yeah.
So here's my whole point, right? Zion is free.
Yes.
Yep.
The Matrix is down.
Yep.
Smith fulfilled his role in the prophecy, and the machines have lost.
Yep.
We're done. We're done. Zion will be led by Neo and Morpheus, and we're going to be straight up okay.
I never even understood, like at the end of the movie, like why they were so okay with giving peace just for Keanu Reeves' character to stop Smith. Like they could have easily just been like, okay, yeah, we'll have peace with you, and then right after he beats Smith, they back out on their word. Of course, the whole logic of the movie is we don't back out of our promises like humans do or whatever. But I still didn't. It didn't seem like it lined up with their characters really, with the way the machines was before.
Well, yeah. So, like, when we think about themes and symbolism for the Matrix, right? The whole point of it being that the machines that have basically turned humans into this colony, where they're using them as an energy source, which in sci-fi terms is pretty nonsensical, but this is where we are. So, as it stands, the machines have every reason to functionally just disregard human beings,
Yes.
right? Their problem is self-inflicted.
Yes.
that there's a program within them that poses a threat to him. That's why Smith is the one that actually fulfills the prophecy and not Neo. So realistically, the moment Smith's gone, for all intent and purposes, anything logical on the machine side, they just continue on as before.
Right.
You know
That's
what I'm
why it
saying?
doesn't make sense to me. Why would they like agree?
Right. So it's obviously that the machines are acting very human in this moment.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, you're kind of messing up with your own symbolism here because this is a quintessential man versus machine conflict.
Yeah.
And it's not something that really, diplomacy can overcome, but we get a diplomatic ending.
Even at the end of the movie, like when you see Keanu Reeves, like he's like laying down after he finished with the fight in the supposed real world. Some people think that that's also the
Still
Matrix.
within the Matrix, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so you see like one of these weird spider machine creatures like working on him to fix him. Why would they do that? Why would they care? Why would they try to help a human? They don't care about humans.
Right. And it's not like Neo's essential to reestablishing the Matrix if that's what they're trying to do, because Neo's not the architect.
No.
So realistically, it's always been a strange point. And I guess if you want to go back and try to like clear up some of this, but the Matrix
could.
comic and the Matrix anime also did a lot to clear up this. So what's the point
Yeah.
of a fourth movie? You cannot, I don't
Money.
get it.
Money. Well,
So much money.
well, we already know that Keanu Reeves is definitely coming back. So I'll watch it just because Keanu Reeves is going to be in it, and who doesn't love Keanu Reeves?
Is
I'll
it
give it a shot.
breathtaking.
Is he still gonna be blind?
Maybe. So one of the announcements for casting is Neil Patrick Harris is going to be in the movie, and he was known as a child actor for Doogie Howser. So actually, Matt made a joke and said, "What is Doogie Howser going to give him his eyesight back?"
Look, all I got to say about it is this, right? There was a time in which sequels were very good things because the continuation of the story in a new direction was very important. I want to point out to you, right, that all of the Back to the Future movies didn't need a sequel.
No.
Right? They were self-contained.
Right.
But the sequel not only added something new, but it also changed their genre, changed the way things worked.
Every single time.
And so you saw that with Alien, you saw that with the original Terminator and Terminator 2. That's why I like the second movies in all of these trilogies or in these continuities were some of the best. The Matrix will not do this. It will not.
I know he doesn't care.
Yeah, the Matrix will not be redefining anything, won't be changing the genre. This is purely just a nostalgia bait. And I, for one, don't need a nostalgia bait for the Matrix. The Matrix is done.
I'm really surprised that Keanu Reeves would agree to this.
Well, he just loves the role.
He does love the role a lot. Like
Like-
if somebody told him that he could have a Ronin 47 sequel, he would stop everything he was doing
And go
that
do it
movie.
just because
Yeah.
he loves the role.
I mean, it's the only reason he's like working on John Wick number 47 right now.
Yeah, it's because of the Matrix. But with John Wick, their world, it makes more sense that the story's still going.
Yeah.
Well, and then none of the movies reached a final conclusion anyway.
No. There's always well in the third movie they kind of hint at because they say at the end when the Oracle's talking to the architect, they said the war is over for now.
Yeah, for now.
Yeah.
They left room open to continue that series, which is fine.
Machines can be rebooted. That's
Yes.
all I'm saying.
Yes.
That's what I said.
So Neil Patrick Harris has been cast. This actor that's became very famous thanks to the Aquaman movie, the guy who played as Black Manta, his name is Yaha Abdul Mateen II. He apparently is supposed to be playing a major role. We don't know much about his role yet.
Morpheus' son. I'm just
Rumored
taking a guess.
Young Morpheus.
Yeah.
Young Morpheus.
Rumored.
That could work. That could really work. What if Neil Patrick
But
Harris
they're
is a
making a-
young architect?
They're making a prequel movie
know.
with him though.
They're
Well-
rumored to be a young Neo in the Matrix 4 too.
So listen.
That
here's-
doesn't make any sense though.
Right. Well, the only way
That's why it's mad confusing.
when we talked about it, right, the only way this works is that it's a reboot of the Matrix. If they bring the Matrix back online, the Neo that's in the Matrix can be at any age, right?
Yeah, that's true. Because I was just thinking about it. Neo could be like a moniker. It doesn't because his name is Mr. Anderson, so he doesn't have to necessarily be
Mr. Anderson.
Neo. Like it could be like a Batman, but we have Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson.
Well, speaking of that,
Okay.
But like, there doesn't need to be two Neos. See,
No.
so like that's the thing. Everything's so unnecessary with this movie.
well, what will frustrate you even more is apparently they're saying that Jessica Henwick. She's known for her role in Iron Fist. She has been casted for probably one of the biggest roles in, because they're probably going to make this into a trilogy, knowing them. For the franchise, she is going to be their equivalent to a female Neo, apparently.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, right? Without the way the movie ended originally, humanity can't win. The machines win. Like humanity will be the resistance will be put out or put down before the machines run out of energy. Just that's just the logistics of the world.
Yeah.
Right? So it only could end in this way.
Right.
So if the machines reestablish control, the situation doesn't change. See what I'm saying? If they reestablish the Matrix, humans go back to being. It's no different than the architect showing him the 10,000 different examples of Neo attempting to solve this issue before. It comes back to this room, back to this solution, back to this attempt, and back to you failing. And we finally beat that loop. So you're gonna bring me into another movie where you just say, "Ah, no, we didn't." It's just as bad as the Last Jedi. It just undoes everything Neo was.
Yes, it doesn't make.
It's just horrible.
Well, you know how plot armor works.
And did I read correctly that only one of the Wachowskis is doing this?
Yes. Okay. So, side note: both brothers both got a sex change.
Yeah, aren't they sisters
Wait, they
now?
both did?
But yes, they
Yeah.
both did.
But I'm saying
So-
they're sisters now.
Yeah, so they're sisters now. So they're the Wachowski sisters instead. So only one of them, maybe the other one has retired from the movie industry. I don't know, but I think their name is Lana now. I could be wrong.
Yeah, and it's Lana and Lily.
Yeah, Lana is the one that is going to be continuing with the Matrix series. She's the one that's writing and directing.
Okay, cool.
Couldn't you just come up with something new? Even something within the Matrix universe. It
They could have easily. I mean, they
there's
could
n-
have.
I mean,
Well, they are going to have a lot of new actors, at least in the movie.
I'm saying
There's only 3 that they've said is returning so far.
I mean, you could have a whole situation where like they're calling it the Matrix 4 for right now, but then like, there's no telling what could happen. Like
Mm-hmm.
we could have old characters come in and do cameos like in, old Neo or
It could be where they try to make it more cyberpunk like, even more so. I mean, obviously it was based off, a lot of influences based off of cyberpunk and a lot of other cyberpunk-esque, just future dystopian style literature and role playing, all that stuff that's been around for a while. What if they made it to where the humans did build up their society? It's built up more, and they start wanting, because they're, humans were not always the brightest crayons on the box. They decide they want to rebuild the Matrix, and it's not the
See,
machines.
that was the idea that I had too, is that what if it's a human antagonist that brings it to light? Because I don't know if you guys have seen Godzilla King of the Monsters,
I
but it
haven't.
was a human that was like, we're gonna resurrect all these titans. So
I wouldn't be surprised if it's actually the humans this time that's screwing things over.
I'm
So
still
you would think that there'd
confused.
be a faction within Zion that wanted to reestablish the
understandably
Matrix.
so.
Yeah. And I think there's more than just Zion at this point.
Well, I mean, sure, after Zion successfully led the revolution and ended the machines, other human societies might pop up. But I mean, realistically, Zion should be leading, period.
Yeah, obviously they'll still be the. Also, my other thought is they mentioned Jada Pinkett Smith coming back. They mentioned Keanu Reeves coming back. They mentioned Carrie Ann Moss coming back, which I don't understand because she's supposed to be dead. I mean, maybe the machines helped her too, since they helped Keanu Reeves for whatever reason. Anyways,
Maybe
but they haven't mentioned Morpheus.
that's where I'm thinking our young gentleman from Aquaman comes in.
So a new version of him.
I mean, if the Matrix exists, you can recast the entire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why wouldn't
because-
they recast Keanu Reeves and Carrie Ann Moss then? Unless he's playing a similar kind of like a Johnny Silverhand type role.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying that, like, in the Matrix, the form you take is absolutely irrelevant to who you actually are. So if you
Yeah.
wanted to say that, this new young guy is Morpheus, then yes, it could be Morpheus.
But I don't understand why they would do that, because the guy who plays as Morpheus would probably be more than okay with Lawrence Fishburne. Sorry. He would be more than okay playing Morpheus again. He loves that role.
That's why I think it's like a younger version of Morpheus.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking too. Is like there's every bit the chance that like
Or He could just be another actor who also happens to be black.
Yeah.
Might
That's
not be
fair.
Morpheus at all.
mean,
There was more
That's
than
fair.
one
Yeah,
black guy
like
in the Matrix
I'm
a sum total
series.
of 3. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It could
No.
be. It could be. It could be any one of the 3 black people that I remember in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Look, the only other 2 black guys that I saw in this movie both got wrecked.
Yeah,
Hard.
the guy with the braids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
And
One of
they were brothers on top of that.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the sucky part. Both of them.
so
Poor
I'm pretty
guys.
sure that maybe in the club influx.
Maybe this is their little brother no one knew about.
Right.
Oh my God.
They all have
That's
to be
terrible.
related, right? Morpheus was their uncle.
It's like, what am I thinking of?
I don't agree with these statements, for the record.
You guys have played Gears of
We're
War, right?
joking. We're joking.
It's like the Carmines all over again.
Yeah, right.
It's like A Carmine, B Carmine, C Carmine.
They have to keep with that plot line.
Oh my god.
Well, that would make Jada Pinkett Smith their auntie then. I'm
Wait.
just saying.
Wait, are Morpheus and
No, they never got because they broke up before we meet them. So that would be probably a good plot line for the prequel when they were still together. She broke it off with him and started dating the commander, but she started rebelling against the commander in the third movie.
Because the 3rd movie exists.
Because the third movie exists and she was siding with Morpheus. So it's kind of hints at them possibly getting back together.
And then producing a new black person, which could be this guy.
Yeah, we don't know how much time. Well, it has been. What was it been? The last movie was 2003, so it's been almost 20 years. So
Man, I'm old.
see that's what like I
Don't
remember
think about
watching the movie with my dad
yeah.
and
Don't think about it.
Oh my God.
Well, I rewatched them, and the first one is so like, even though it was made in 1999, that thing like embodied 90s movies so well.
the trench coat man,
Yes,
sunglasses and techno music.
The cell
You don't need
phone.
anything else.
Hey,
The cell phone.
It goes along with all the greats. It goes
Yes.
along with that Constantine movie. Goes along with Blade. It was
Dude.
Yes.
amazing.
Constantine.
That's a good movie.
Yes.
They're talking about doing another one too.
Yeah, with him.
Also, just keep recasting people over and over again. It's all
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, apparently they really want Keanu to come back as Constantine because they want to keep Marvel from using him.
As much as I love
Yeah.
Keanu, I don't want him to turn into a Vin Diesel where the only thing he does is remakes.
You know what's funny about that?
What?
You know how you mentioned about Vin Diesel?
Yeah.
There's a big rumor going around that he will because there was a lot before the Hobbs and Shaw movie came out. They were saying that he was the guy that was the main bad guy, the man in the chair that you don't see type of character.
What?
Yeah, they're saying they're pretty certain that he's going to be cast as the main bad guy for the Hobbs and Shaw series. They're
Vin
making the
Diesel's
back
going to
on.
be the bad
No,
guy.
not Vin Diesel.
Oh,
Keanu.
Oh, that's even cooler.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're gonna make him the
I
bad
thought-
guy.
I thought you were talking
I'm
about Vin
sorry.
Diesel being the
No,
bad
no,
guy. I
no,
was
no,
like,
because that wouldn't make sense because
Right?
they're
Yeah.
in the same universe.
Dominic Toretto.
I mean, it was already
Hey man,
bad
he tried to
once.
be bad, and that was
Oh God.
yeah. I feel like that was a waste of Charlize Theron.
Yeah, well, she's actually gonna be back for the next Fast and Furious
I
movie.
hate this
They
franchise.
rumored to bring Han back too.
First off, I just
How?
hate.
They're saying he escaped the crash somehow.
No.
It's
You
a
see him
rumor.
get
It's a
killed
rumor.
by Jason Statham
It's a
though.
rumor.
Didn't Jason Statham shoot this man in
Yeah.
the face?
He shot him.
Hey, 50 Cent, man. He's okay.
Oh my!
Look at my cheek wound, y'all.
Comes back with an eye patch or something. I don't know.
Hey, Kingsman.
Deathstroke Han.
Kingsman, they did that. Remember, he had the eye patch and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, but that makes sense though, because that's like a comic book movie and they got all kinds of wacky, zany
Okay, but Fast and Furious is like comic book level.
Nobody
zaniness
stays
Black
dead.
now.
Superman.
Yeah.
The driving and the Rock make it a comic book movie.
Yeah.
But anyway, look, I'm tired of franchises. I'm
Tyrese Gibson crying.
tired.
Crying in real life and in movies.
Look, I want it to end. I want it to end. I want new things. I'm tired of reboots. I'm tired of people continuing on these series, especially when it just looks like they're going to ruin them and that they don't bring anything new to the table. And I don't think that The Matrix is going to be anything new. I think it's just going to be a giant nostalgia trip. And I don't want nostalgia for The Matrix. I'm good. The story's done. I'm
If
against
they-
it.
If I'm totally okay with the Matrix 4 for a couple of different reasons. One being I wouldn't mind stepping back into this universe. Like I don't want it, but I do want it because like I want to see where they could take it from here.
I want it
And
just because it's Keanu Reeves.
yeah, that's the other reason right there. And like you can't deny that the cast is fantastic with Carrie Ann Moss coming back, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah, but what about the story? That's the most important
but
thing.
we haven't seen it yet. We don't know. Like you're sitting
Yeah.
here saying that like there's nowhere for them to go, but when they do it, you'll be mind blown.
Yeah, they
Uh,
could
Yep.
come up with a really because they
I have no faith.
the like whatever Lana and them haven't really been doing much lately. I mean, they did Jupiter Ascending and
Which
that
was
bombed
garbage.
Trash.
hard. So they've been sitting around probably in their thoughts. She could have came up with like, oh, I came up with a really good idea to bring the cast back. I
Yeah.
found something that'll work. That will be just as good as the first one because we rushed 2 and 3 because they did rush 2 and 3 for Warner Brothers.
And you could totally have like a time glitch thing where it's like a crossover event, like
it-
young meets old.
I don't want that.
like-
Sounds
don't
like
want it.
a sequel.
I'm just saying, there's
That's
possibilities.
a reboot. That's a prequel. That's a reboot within a sequel.
Yeah.
If that
What?
makes sense.
The
That's what it
pre-se-
sounds
They
like.
could-
It's a pre-sequel boot.
They could say they could say that the Neo lost his abilities as the one after his fight with Agent Smith, and then he would have to train the one, which would be the character Jessica Hennick is going to play. That could be the route they're going.
Why do we
Possibilities.
need the one anymore?
Money.
I'm just confused
I-
altogether.
Yeah, I
Dane,
know.
I get where you're coming from.
I get it.
But
I do get it. I'm still gonna watch it. I don't
I
care.
am too.
This hurts my brain.
Look.
The
I got-
Matrix hurt my brain.
I have been baited into this so many times over the last 5 years that I am done. I am legitimately done.
Maybe we'll get a good Matrix Online game.
Hey, I'm just saying,
Ouch.
the Matrix game where you play as Ghost and Naomi, A1.
Yeah,
I love
but,
that game.
But Matrix Online was F minus.
Look, the best
Yeah.
movie game still remains Minority Report.
No, the best movie
What?
game remains to
Yes.
be Spider-Man 2.
No, the best
no.
movie
Yeah.
game remains Lord of the Rings: The Twin Towers.
All right, guys.
False.
All right, what you got?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man?
Spider-Man 2 is
Whatever.
the best.
Whatever. Y'all don't like Lord of the Rings?
I love Lord
I
of the
love
Rings.
the
but
Lord
I'm
of the Rings
saying
game.
that was a superior game.
Yeah, I had it on the GameCube.
Okay, look.
I played both.
In my
Respect your history.
in
That's all
my
I'm
in
saying.
my order, it is.
Oh yeah,
It's
and
a
then
matter of
GoldenEye.
opinion,
We can't
Devontae.
forget GoldenEye.
No, that's my point. Yes,
Yeah.
in my order,
Yeah,
it is
okay,
literally
okay.
Minority Report because I love that game to death. Spider-Man 2, GoldenEye. That's what I'm saying.
That list sucked.
Did anybody,
Minority Report.
Did anybody play the Thor game?
No.
Which one? Wait, which one?
The mobile one or the one that was actually on a console?
The one that was actually on console.
no.
Okay, I
because
played,
I played a few of the Marvel
Iron
games
Man so bad.
on the phones when jailbreaking iPhones were so easy back in the day.
Hmm.
I played a few of them and they were hot garbage.
All right. We've gone off into
I
the
know,
wayside.
okay.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
I'm looking forward to the Matrix 4.
I am
Uh,
too.
I am not.
Visually, I want to see what they can do with like today's technology.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm interested in because the way they did their fight scenes, to them it was ahead of their time, and now it's like that's something someone that has a very low budget would do.
Yeah.
The effects, man.
Yeah, the effects are going to be like night and day.
Did y'all see that Netflix movie, I Am the Mother, or the one with the robot y'all
And
know what
see-
I'm talking about?
I
Seen
am.
it,
I
but I'm
skipped
just-
it.
Yeah,
Okay, I did not know that a lot of that movie is practical effects. I watch Corridor Digital's VFX Reacts videos, and they break down. I know it's totally off topic. Sorry,
that's
guys.
okay though.
But you saying low budget reminded me of this. I didn't realize how low budget of a film that movie was, and they made it look good. That robot is a practical robot suit.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's a
That's
suit.
so good.
The production company from New Zealand that did a lot of the work for Lord of the Rings
Good job, Drake.
that has both branched out into other smaller corporations, but also inspired a lot of people to do their own practical effects in that way. So yeah, it's very well produced.
I was really blown away.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, so there's still very little information we really know about the Matrix 4. We just got casting. I hope we hear more about the plot line to figure out why the heck are we getting a Matrix movie. But until then,
Money.
I guess we'll just keep guessing, and Dane will have his doubt about the movie as he should. We're actually going to take a quick little break, and then we'll get back to a couple of more topics dealing with the cinematic universe. We will be right back.